The January 5th Transportation Committee will now come to order. Please call roll.
Mr. Cassetti? Here. Chairman Colby?
Here.
Mr. Daniele? Here. Mr. Esposito? Here. Mr. Gamble is excused. Mr. Howland? Here. Mr. Lee is excused. Mr. Monroe? Here. Mr. Rocco?
Here. Is there anyone signed up for public forum?
There is not.
Is there anyone here now that would like to address this committee? Seeing none. The next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. We have the December 1st minutes of 010 Transportation Committee before you. They stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. The next item on the agenda is new business. Madam Clerk.
Referral number 10-0378.
Moved by Cassetti, second by Daniele. Mr. Esposito.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to the administration on this referral, it includes $220,000 listed as contingency. I don't recall seeing that as a line in many of these bid referrals in the past. Is that new, or is that something that's been there and I've missed in the past?
Through the chair, I would think it's normally there. We usually try to cover some contingency, and then even in the award we do as well. So I'm trying to think if we have, but normally we do. You might not necessarily see it in the award, but there is money there. There always needs to be money for contingency that might come up in terms of with change orders when the project is bid and awarded.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chairman, is it typically a set amount? Is it a percentage of the overall award, or does it depend on the project?
Through the chair, I would say it kind of depends on the project, but also typically you would use in the design, as you reach the final design, to be a 10%, and then when you have construction and have actual bid numbers, we usually use a 5% number.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Next item.
Referral number 10-0379.
Moved by Daniele, second by Howard. Yeah, Mr. Mao.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, just a quick question. This referral lists $3.915 million as the county share. Do we have not seeing the total cost of the project, do we have any idea what that number is?
Through the chair, I do not have that number with me.
And is that something you can, I assume, can get from the city?
I stand corrected. I do have something from, I do have its, well, that says it was about $4 million. I can find out what the actual construction number that they're estimating it to be. And by the way, your question from last night, the middle section was reconstructed in 1993.
Okay, thank you.
Two answers on one. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Next item.
Referral number 10-0395.
Moved by Howland, second by Rocco. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Next item.
Referral number 10-0396.
Moved by Cassetti, second by Howland. Yes, Mr. Esposito.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to the administration, could we just get an explanation as to the specific cause of the increase? I mean, this is rather substantial. It's nearly doubling in total project cost.
Through the chair, when the project was originally scoped back when we put our CIP together, a couple of things that have changed since then. One is, although costs have somewhat come down, costs increased considerably from when we originally did our first planning estimate several years ago. Second thing that has changed is that when we put their costs together, we don't know what other municipalities or what the other betterments might be done on the job, i.e. the Water Authority work that's going to be done, as well as the work done by the town of Parenton in terms of the sanitary sewer. We're just putting in dollars that we think we need for a road job. And then they might want sidewalk on both sides or whatever, things that change from then. So those three things, or those couple things, have changed to increase this. We have gotten additional dollars, though, from the Transportation Improvement Program, so that's still, the county is only in it for the same percentage we always were.
Okay, thank you. That was one of my next questions. Through you, Mr. Chairman, if I may continue. Explain what this referral says. Do we get more money from the feds and the state than we needed? Are we not using everything we've gotten from them as part of the TIP?
Through the chair, we did previously, when we had identified when the costs were increasing, and the feds will only reimburse, they will not be reimbursing the Water Authority for their betterment or for the town of Parenton for their sanitary sewer. But in terms of the road job, when we saw that the costs were going to increase, we did ask for more money. The bids did come in a little bit lower than what we had. We got very good competitive, especially highway work, the last couple of bids, good competitive climate, and they came in actually lower than what we had thought they would. So we actually don't need as much money in the tip as we had originally thought we were going to need. So there'll be money back going into the region for other projects.
Okay, so through you, Mr. Chairman, that's what I was getting at. So you can't use that extra money from the tip to defray the county's costs?
Through the chair, no. The county has to cover that approximately the 5% or 10% that we have. No, we have to pay that.
But it'll go back into the regional funds for other projects like East Ridge Road or wherever else might be of need, right?
Through the chair, that's correct. But we have to pay the 5%. But then there'll be others for other projects might go over, or we might be able to advance some projects.
Thank you.
That's a possibility in the region as well.
And through you, Mr. Chairman, what is the county's contribution to this project? I apologize, I don't see it in the referral.
County's contribution is about, I think it's 4% of the construction.
Okay. And that's just for administration?
Well, that's just the local, there's the local share of that. The state and the feds will pay 79%, and then the other 17% is paid for by the town and the Water Authority, and then there's always going to be a local share. Whenever you get federal money, you always have a local share. Typically, that's 5%. But because of the others involved, it comes down to only 4% in this particular case for construction.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Referral 10-0397.
Moved by Rocco, second by Mr. Danelli. You guys decide which one to go first. Okay. Now,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to the administration, has it been determined what the use of the land in question will be once it's acquired?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'm Art English. I'm the county surveyor. This is just going to be additional land attached to the existing narrow right-of-way. There is no proposed changes there or any anticipated structural use at this time.
any other? You all set? Seeing no other questions, all those in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Are there any other matters to come before this committee? There being no further business, the January 5th, 2011 Transportation Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Transportation Committee is scheduled for January 26th at 5:30.